Hi, and welcome to Raise a Glass. My name's Lou Nyman. I recently received an email from a friend asking me if I would do a video on how I go about selecting wines, as he finds this very, very confusing. And I'm sure many others do as well. There are no hard rules to follow in selecting a wine, but I can provide some guidelines for you. We've all experienced walking into a wine shop and seeing the hundreds, if not thousands of bottles of wine, and standing there saying, how am I ever going to select the right wine for what I need? In addition, to add to that confusion, there are 1,368 grape varieties from which wine is made. And also there are over 8,700 registered wineries just in the United States. Wines also come as single varieties like a Syrah or Shiraz, or they come as blends like this GSM, Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. And how do I know what those different varieties are doing to the taste of that wine? Also, wine can have multiple names, like a Sauvignon Blanc can be a Saint-Cyr in France, and also a Fumé Blanc. I have a Vouvray in this glass. Vouvray is really Chenin Blanc, or in South Africa it's known as Steen. And Syrah is known as Shiraz in Australia. Considering the factors we just went over that make selecting a wine confusing, there is really one key factor that makes the decision on selecting a wine. And that is, why am I selecting a wine in the first place? Am I selecting it for myself? Well, I probably have three choices there. Am I going to select a wine that I'd really like to try, like a Criticos from Crete, one of my favorites like a Syrah from the northern Rhone Valley of France, or one I just read about like a Nero d'Avolo from Sicily? Is it for a celebration like a wedding or a new baby? With a wedding, you have the de facto sparkling wines with champagne at the top, but Cava and Prosecco would go just as well. For a new baby, I may get a wine that I know that couple will really enjoy to celebrate the birth of the new child, or I may get a wine that they can put down or store for a 21st birthday celebration with that child when the time comes. Is it for a holiday like Christmas or New Year's? With New Year's, again, you have the sparkling wines with champagne at the top. But for Christmas, I think I'd go more with a Cabernet Sauvignon or a Merlot. Is it a gift? If it's a gift, I want to make sure I understand what that person really enjoys, and I'm going to get a wine that I know they'll enjoy. If it's for like a housewarming gift, I may want to get a wine that I know the couple can enjoy as well. If it's to drink with friends, I may do a little bit of research and find out what kind of wines my friends really like and pick some wines they're really going to enjoy. Or I may push the envelope and get wines they've never actually tried before. If it's for a hot summer afternoon, I may lean more towards a fruit-forward light white wine like a Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, or a Riesling. If it's an evening, I can push more towards those red wines, a Pinot Noir, a Syrah, a Cabernet Sauvignon. If it's for a meal, probably one of the most important or most timely things from selecting wine is for meals. There are three different times during the meal you have to select a wine: before the meal, during the meal, and after the meal. To start our discussion on choosing a wine with a meal, I'm going to start with the main course. If you're having a nice Italian pasta with a rich red sauce, choose a nice Italian red wine like Sangiovese, Chianti, or Amarone. With French food, choose a French wine. With German food, choose a German wine. Next, the body or weight of the wine should always match the weight of the main course. If you're having a steak, you want to have a full-bodied, heavy red wine like Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, or Merlot. With fish or chicken, you're going to want to have a lighter white wine, fruit-forward like a Chenin Blanc, a Riesling, or a Sauvignon Blanc. In general, white wines pair very well with the white meats: pork, ham, chicken, fish, shellfish, and pasta with white sauces. Red wines, on the other hand, pair with the red meats: steak, roasted beef, barbecued meats, game meats, and pasta with red sauces. There's one exception: Game poultry such as pheasant and turkey, as well as veal, go much better with the lighter red wines like Gamay and Pinot Noir, or a full-bodied Chardonnay. Let's talk a little bit about wine before the meal, or what's known as an aperitif. An aperitif is to stimulate your appetite. It should match the main course using those same guidelines I just went over, and should always be a dry wine, never sweet. Dessert wines, on the other hand, are sweet wines, and the rule of thumb with dessert wines are that the dessert wine has to be sweeter than the dessert. For things such as creme brulee, fruits, and a plain cheesecake, a nice late harvest Riesling would be great. With chocolate cake, lava cake, anything that is rich in chocolate, a Cabernet Sauvignon goes extremely well. These are the rules I would use in choosing wines for with a meal. After answering that question as to why you may be selecting wine right now, you can take advantage of some of the suggestions and guidelines I provided earlier in the video. The next thing I would tell you to do is spend a little time doing a little bit of research. I'm not talking about a lot of time. 10 to 20 minutes is probably sufficient. I always do a little research when I select a wine. The best place to do your research is on the internet. You can get a host of information on the internet about wine. You can get where are the top Cabernet Sauvignons produced in the world today. What are the top 100 Cabernet Sauvignons that are available for purchase today? Can I get those wines locally, or do I have to buy them online? What are the price of those wines? What are the ratings of those wines? You can also get ratings and assessments of wines by people just like us who have taken the advantage of adding that information online for us to look at. In addition, you can find out what those price points are. Are they available locally? Can I get them at my local winery? You also want to check your local wine shops and your local wineries, as they often have consultants that can help you select a wine as well. I hope you've enjoyed and found this video informative, and I hope you're successful in selecting your next wine, and I hope you enjoy it very much. And as always, raise a glass and have a drink.